I guess I get to give my bio before she said I give my speech. So I'm Ryan Cohn. I've been a member here for 3 years now, and I've been mentored by people like Steve, Carlton, and everyone else. So it's a pleasure to be here. I'm on my advanced communicator speech, and it is the first speech in the Speaking to Inform manual. I'm basically just supposed to inform the audience and then basically motivate and persuade them by the end of my speech. So I'm going to start. I'm going to introduce Ryan Cohn. Anyway, I was taking golf lessons one day when I learned a huge lesson about life. I was sitting there just swinging. I actually had a trainer at the time, so we were sitting there hitting golf balls, and I was hitting long and straight every single time. I was out driving my trainer. So basically, I'm a competitive guy, so I got a little bit cocky, and I told him, I started talking smack to him. I said, I should be teaching you how to play golf. I'm out driving you, and I'm hitting them straighter than you are. So anyway, the next day, we had 18 holes lined up, and we went out there for our normal practice rounds, and I was hitting the ball good, and he adjusted my swing, and we went on to play. And by the 9th hole, I could not hit the ball straight. It was off every single time, so I just shouted, "This is ridiculous. I cannot hit the ball straight at all. I'm so far off." That's when he replied to me. He said, "You're only about an inch off." And then it dawned on me. He said, "I readjusted your swing because I got mad because you were talking smack to me yesterday, and now you're hitting the ball all over the place, so you readjusted my swing." But the thing that dawned on me as I drove off, it was that I was only about a centimeter off. I was only an inch off. And see, I think that's the way that most of us are in life. We feel that we are really, really far off, but we're really only about a centimeter or an inch off. And I think that we are that way because of our beliefs. And what I'm going to teach you today is how to change your personal beliefs. And it's not a big change, it's a little slight change. It's a lot smaller than you think. What a belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. A belief is a feeling of certainty about what something means. Like, we've all heard sayings like, you got to have money to make money, and I reacted this way because it's the way I was brought up. Well, these are all negative beliefs that we have thought in the past, and I'm going to teach you today some techniques that you can begin implementing immediately to change the way that you think. The first principle I want to talk about is the pleasure-pain principle. And our beliefs right now, for instance, if we're a smoker, we may loop smoking in our brain with more pleasure than pain. So what we have to do is, every time you're about to pull out a cigarette, or instead pull out a picture of your family, and think about how your family would have to, what they would have to go through if you basically kept smoking and ended up, shortening your life. So begin associating pain with your thoughts. And this brings me to the 3 steps to lasting change. And the first one is leverage, which I just talked about. If you're a smoker, maybe go hang out at a hospital wing, or go hang out somewhere with patients that have emphysema or cancer from smoking. So you have to get leverage on your belief. You have to basically feel extreme, and actually amplify that. Feel pain with that belief. So you have to really feel enough pain to want to change. And then begin starting to feel pleasure for that. The second thing that I would like to bring up is to interrupt the pattern. And this is kind of a goofy one for me, because anytime I start to think negatively, if I start to get angry or mad in traffic or something, and I look over, I do something, I do 3 loops like this, and I grab my boob, because it's kind of weird. Instead, I've got it down to just the boob pat now, because it looks kind of funny in public. But what that does is it interrupts the pattern of your thought. I started thinking negatively, and now I'm kind of laughing, and what it does is reminds me to interrupt the pattern of the way that I think. Because once you go down a certain road on the way that you think, it's a downward spiral. So leverage, and the second one is interrupt the pattern when you start to think negatively. The third one is create an empowering replacement. Now let me ask you all, picture a belief as a tabletop, and the legs underneath it are the supports, the ideas that support that belief. Who in here thinks that they're sexy? Raise your hand.
Why not?
I'm going to call Carlton Young. Why do you think you're sexy? Okay, picture the word sexy on the top of the table. Now, why do you think you're sexy?
Because his wife told him so.
That too.
Okay, his wife thinks.
God got up one morning and said, I'm going to end up sexy.
So Carlton thinks he's sexy because his wife, maybe he drives a nice car, maybe he works out, his wife said that he's sexy. So these are the beliefs that he feels, the legs underneath the table that support his belief. Well, negative beliefs are the same exact thing, but what you should do is change the negative belief that you feel and then create new legs to support that belief, such as Carlton's sexiness. But just change the legs underneath the table and create your new belief. And it will work wonders, I guarantee you. Now, if you don't change your beliefs, your life will remain the same forever. Is that good news? Beliefs have the awesome power to either create or destroy. Similar to my golf swing, your life is probably not that far off track. The small change in your personal belief can give you power to create massive and immediate changes in your life. Are you ready now to harness the power to create the vision that you want? Contrary to popular belief, change is not a long drawn-out process. It is massive, immediate, and it's empowering. Change the legs underneath the table to your old beliefs and live your life to the fullest.